Well, it's been a while since I've been out doing any landscape photography, and I got up early this morning. I decided it was time to get rolling again on my photography. I've had about 2 or 3 months of downtime for different reasons. Not too sure if I can explain them all, but anyways, I've come down to Dayton, Tennessee this morning to Blythe's Ferry and hope to get a sunrise type photograph, but there's a lot of low lying clouds this morning, and sunrise is at about 2 minutes, okay? What I did bring with me today was my Nikon D7100, and I have the 12 to 24 f4 lens on that. I also brought a newly acquired, used, gently used by the way, Nikon Z50, and I brought the 500pf to use on that camera to try out today, because there are some birds down here. In fact, right over here is a great blue heron. He just over there, I think he's got a name. I think Dan Williams calls him Homer. It might be Homer, it might be Homer's wife, I don't know. But as soon as the light gets up a little bit, I'm gonna try to do some bird photography while I'm here too. There's a little bit of history here with Blythe's Ferry, but this is a good area to come and try and capture a sunrise, sunset, and you usually find a lot of birds in the area. They made some changes down here to benefit the fishermen and not the photographer. And some of the things they've done is they took out some of the trees and stuff that lined this road where birds would used to perch on. And a lot of those are gone. And they made the road wider and more convenient for the fishermen to get down to the boat dock. But we still like to come down here and photograph down here at Blythe's Ferry, and it's usually a pretty nice place to get some good photographs. So I'm using my Osmo DJI Osmo Pocket 3 this morning to vlog with, and just in case you wanted to know what I was using. So I'm getting ready to make my fall excursions for landscape photography. Over in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. As many of you know, I am shooting with the Nikon Z8 now for my photography, and I still have the Nikon D500. When I go to the Smokies this fall, I'm going to take the Nikon Z8. I bought the Nikon Z8 for a couple reasons. One is I wanted a higher megapixel camera, and I was considering the Nikon Z7 II, and I had the Nikon Z6 II. In fact, I had a pair of them. And I thought, you know, if I'm going to spend that kind of money, I might as well just go on and buy a Nikon Z8 and get the bird auto detect, eye detect focusing, the good focusing, and the better sensor, and just an all-around superior camera the Nikon Z8 is than anything I've owned in the past. But what I needed was a second body, a backup body. And I could have took the D500, but in addition to a second backup body, I also wanted something just a little bit lighter to hand carry if I wanted to go into town and do some street photography or something like that. So what I've done is I've coupled the D7100 this morning with my 12 to 24 f4 lens to try some landscape photography and to kind of dial this camera in a little bit. Now, there's a difference between these DSLRs and the newer mirrorless stuff. There's a difference in the way it works. There's a difference in the menu settings. The live view is different. So the more you shoot with your rigs, and I'm talking about the mirrorless rigs and the DSLR rigs, the better you will get at dialing things in quickly, and you'll get used to your menus in the two different bodies. So over the course of the next few weeks or so, I'm going to be using the D7100 more to get it dialed in and for me to get used to it. And anyway, so far this morning I've captured some photographs, trying to capture some photographs of a sunrise down here, but the sunrise didn't really materialize. But I did get a couple landscape shots with it, with the 12-24 f4 lens and the D7100. And I'm going to show those to you in the video right now. So my settings on my D7100 is I'm at a, well, let's see, I'm at about f8. That's exactly where I'm at now, 1/6 of a second, and my ISO is set at 100, and I'm bracketing these shots. And I'll tell you what, moving from the Z8 or even the Z6 II back to a D7100, you got to think a little bit, because things are different just a little bit, like bracketing. Okay, I'm gonna fire off some shots here. So I'm doing a one-stop bracket shots on these, and I don't know what I'm going to end up with. So I'm just hoping maybe for a bird to fly through my frame, or something. Like I said, well, the great blue heron has moved off. I don't see where he went now. Yeah, he may be back. So I hope you enjoyed those photographs. And I've got some photographs that I've shot over the years, or made over the years, using a well, I had a D7100 before. And then I graduated up to a D7500 before I went to the D500. And I'm going to show you some of the photographs I've taken over the years using a D7100 or a D7500 and the 12-24 f4 lens, which I think is a very good landscape lens for Nikon DX crop sensor bodies. Okay, I don't care if you've got the D5600 or the D3300 or the D7000 or any of those bodies that are crop sensor, all the way up to the D500. To me, this 12-24 f4 lens is a very good landscape option for a DX crop sensor body, Nikon. I have tried some other wide angle lens or ultra wides on the DX bodies. One of the ones I had before was a Tokina 11-16 f2.8. I didn't really care for that lens a whole lot. First off, I didn't like the narrow zoom range it had, 11-16. And if you were shooting architectural or indoor type real estate photography with it, which I did try, the distortion was pretty good on it. You had to really manipulate your photographs to get the distortion out of it. But from an ultra wide standpoint in f2.8, some of you might like that lens. I didn't care for it myself. I would much rather have this 12-24 f4 Nikon lens. I've shot a lot of real estate with it, indoors and outdoors, with my D7500. I went back and looked at my Lightroom catalog, and I had nearly 5,000 images with that rig, mostly real estate photography. Anyways, things are kind of slow here. It's almost 8 o'clock. So I think I'm gonna pack up and go over to into Dayton itself. Dayton, Tennessee has a park down there where you sometimes find a lot of birds, and that's really what I want to do, is try to find some birds this morning to do some testing with the Nikon 500pf. So I've moved over here to Dayton Park in Dayton, Tennessee. I was over at Blythe Ferry. The sun has come out now behind me. It's pretty harsh lighting, but there's not any birds here that I can see right now, just ducks. And there's a duck over here perched, preening, and what I want to do is I want to try this Z50 out with the 500pf, and that's what I'm going to do. So my settings are 1/1600th of a second at f5.6, and my ISO is sitting at 1000. And I'm going to take a few shots here. I'm using autofocus continuous right now, and I am tripod mounted. This is the Z50 with the 500pf. I was hoping to see some great blue herons or some egrets here, but I haven't seen any this morning. I'll show a few of those duck pictures, or whatever that is. Yeah, it's a duck, in the video now. What I'm mainly doing right now is testing out the Z50 with the 500pf. And I didn't buy the Z50 to do bird photography with. I'll reserve that for my Z8 or my D500. What I did buy the Z50 for was to convert to infrared. So today I'm just testing the camera. I just got it yesterday from MPB. I bought it used. It's in excellent condition. I'm just making sure the camera is functioning properly before I send it off for the infrared conversion that I'm gonna have done to it. Now, I have not bought any other lenses for the Z50. I am considering the kit lenses, used of course. I wouldn't buy those new. And the 16-50 and the 50-250, and I've heard great things about those two kit lenses. So once I get it converted to infrared, and I'll test that infrared out with my F-mount 18-55 VR kit lenses and see how it does. I'll try it with the 12-24 f4 lens that I have, DX lens, see how it works first. And then I'll consider purchasing the 16-50 or the 50-250 kit lenses for the Z50 just for infrared photography. That's the main reason I bought this Z50. I'm gonna go ahead and do some video with the Z50, and I'm doing some 4K 30 on it right now. This duck that's out there on this log preening using the 500pf, and I am tripod mounted. So we'll see what that turns out to be in the video now. So I found these ducks over here preening and having a good time. So I thought I would use the Z50 with the 500pf to do some video of those ducks, so you could see the capabilities of this rig. The Z50 will do 4K, 30 frames per second. It won't go any higher than that. It won't go to 60. That's okay. I don't shoot 4K 60 anyways. I always shoot 4K 30. So I'm okay with that. This is a crop sensor, so the effective reach is equivalent to 750 millimeter using the 500pf. We'll just enjoy the ducks for a moment. The Z50 is not a fast shooting camera, which is I think, in my opinion, that's a good thing because it makes you slow down your photography. You get like the Z8, like I have, or the D500, and you start shooting off big bursts, you know, 5 to 10 frames each time. And, you know, to me, that's kind of like, I don't know, sloppy shooting, for lack of a better word. I think maybe, you know, people who get these fast cameras like that, they might want to, you know, just slow down their photography a little bit. They might get some better shots that way. I know I'm a very patient person when it comes to my photography. I can stand for hours like I'm doing now, watching 2 ducks. Or I can stand for hours waiting for a landscape photograph to happen. Just like in that video I did about the barn landscape photography. And I'll put a link to that video in the description below if you want to go watch that after this video. I think that's why, you know, when it comes to photography excursions, that I like to kind of go by myself, okay? If I'm going to do this kind of photography, which is bird photography, it takes a lot of time, and sometimes the person that might be with you is not compatible with that, and they want to move on and go somewhere else, so you feel like you might be rushed. So that's probably why photography is kind of like what I consider a solitary hobby. I do go out with other people, and I do enjoy being around them when we have like interest, you know, but sometimes the interests don't mesh, you know. You might be going out and doing some street photography or landscape photography with someone who does not care about doing any kind of wildlife photography. So in those instances, I think it's best, you know, if you're just go out on your own and take your time and slow down your shooting a little bit. One of the things I keep forgetting to bring with me when I do this kind of photography are my binoculars. And way out yonder is something white, and I'm going to have to use my camera to kind of see what it is. And it is a I think that's not a great blue heron, it's a white what do you call them, egrets, great whites. It's way out there. I could not ever get a shot of that and make it look like anything, but it's way out there, okay, almost straight out from my nose right where I'm pointing. I'll keep an eye on it. Maybe it'll fly back over this way a little bit and see if it comes over here. Like when I'm just standing here doing nothing, my back screen is not turned on. In fact, I'm turning the camera off at times when I'm not using it a lot, and there's no action going on right now, so I don't anticipate any action either. So while I'm standing here saying that, I just seen a belted kingfisher fly up into the, there goes another one. They're too far off for me, but they did fly up into a tree over there, so I'm gonna keep an eye on them and see. So there's 2 of them, 2 belted kingfishers right over here. The clouds are kind of nice, obscuring the bright sun. I can hear them. Can't really tell where they're at. Okay, I'm gonna try for this kingfisher. He's perched in a tree, probably about 150 yards away. I'm at 1/800 f/5.6 at ISO 800. And if these turned out, I'll show those in the video to you. I think what I'm going to do now is switch over to, I'm going to lock out right here and lock the tripod down. And I'm going to try to get some video over there. He's probably about 100 and I say he's at least 100 yards, maybe 150 yards out that way. Let me turn the camera around so you can see. He's perched up in a tree over there. Okay, it's kind of hard to, for me. Now he's left. Okay, so much for the video. No, he's still there. He's still showing on the video. No, he's still there. Really wanted to try this with the 500pf. Yep, he's perched back up there. I should have brought the 180 to 600 put on here, but instead I'm using the 500pf. What I need to do is bring the kayak down here and do another kayak trip. Maybe I'll do that next week. Bring the D500 that day. I'm gonna shoot some video here of this great blue heron that's about, gosh, I say he's about 300 yards out there. He's fishing or hunting along, fishing, whatever you want to call it, along the water's edge there. And I'll go ahead and put that video in here now so you can see it. So I'm shooting this video at 4K 30 and my shutter is 1/60th f11 and the ISO is around 140 and it's on auto ISO. All right. Patience. Yeah, we got something. That was pretty cool. Hope that worked out in the video. I'll know when I get home. There he goes, flying off.